The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Talk Time with Val. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Val and and today I have with me Larissa and Jeff, and we are going to actually introduce a whole new party game for you people out there. Listeners, I think you're going to be excited. If not, you know what? It's free. Take it. So we're going to be looking at, so we're down here at the Missouri Network for Opiate Reform and Recovery. Jeff Haney actually coordinates a lot of the fundraising as well as the outreach work here at the center. And just a quick plug, if you want to donate, there is a Facebook page. We're going to set up an online presence through maybe a GoFundMe page pretty soon. But if you would like to donate, Jeff, what's the Facebook page?
It's Missouri Network for Opiate Reform and Recovery. Missouri Network
for Opiate Reform and Recovery. You can go on there. You don't even have to donate money. You can donate, hey, you got coupons for food stuff. You go to Schnucks or one of the local grocery stores here. Buy the extra canned goods and donate those. You know, old clothes.
If you like to see our website, it's monetwork.org.
That's right.
monetwork.org.
monetwork.org. So what we're looking at is one of the I guess tools.
It's a recovery community across the nation, but they also are in Missouri, St. Louis. It's a refuge recovery. It's one of their books.
Okay, so one of the tools that is used in recovery is learning that there is something greater than yourself out there. Right?
Well, that's not necessarily what refuge recovery teaches. Refuge recovery teaches the Eightfold Path and the Four Noble Truths of Buddhism.
Okay, so let's discuss that.
Yeah, so
what does that entail?
They're quite a bit different. I'm not.
What are the Eight Noble Paths?
I'll have to read it out of their book.
Okay.
So their program of recovery is we take stock of all the suffering they've experienced and caused as addicts. We investigate the cause and conditions that led to addiction and begin with a process of letting go. We become to understand that recovery is possible and take refuge in the path that leads to the end of addiction. And then 4 is we engage in the process of the Eightfold Path that leads to recovery. And the Eightfold Path is understanding, intention, communication, community, action, engagement, livelihood, service, effort, energy, mindfulness, meditation, and concentration meditation.
Okay, can I see that for a quick second?
That's their process.
So, the Eightfold Path is understanding. So, basically, knowing what happened, why it happened, and that it is happening to you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily know. I'm not
okay,
versed in that book.
We're looking at understanding, intention, communication versus community, action and engagement, livelihood, service, effort, energy. So how much effort you put out, how much energy you have or give. Mindfulness and your meditations towards your mindfulness and meditations towards your concentration. So those are 8, and we'll probably discuss this more in depth after I've read this book.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
The Refuge Recovery book, it breaks it down. It's written by a gentleman named Noah Levine. And they have another book that's for people who are not substance use disorder. Just for normal people, it's called Against the Stream. And I do watch Against the Stream has a live stream on Monday and Wednesday nights. It's like a 30-minute meditation and then an hour-long Dharma talk. And I usually watch it every Monday and Wednesday.
Dharma is a basic tenet of Hinduism.
Yeah, Dharma. So they have like someone get up and they talk and they share their. It's usually
active life principles?
Well, it's usually a monk, a Buddhist monk who, they don't look like them. They have a whole thing called Dharma punks for refuge recovery, and they're all in Buddhism, and they live the lifestyle, and some of them are monks, and they're all tattooed from head to toe. And,
Yeah.
Some of their teachings, there's a gentleman who teaches, his name's Gene from Against the Stream, and his teachings really resonate with me. And I love listening to him. They're all about some love and compassion, and it really helps in my life. And that's why I got the book.
Jeff has I would say for most people it would be a high stress life, because Jeff has little to no time for, well, just Jeff, when you look at it, right? Or just, you have little or no time to just sit down and just mind zomb on TV.
Yeah, I mean, I work 2 jobs. I mean, I work full-time, and that could be 50, 60 hours a week at one job, and then I come here at Missouri Network and work another at least 20 hours a week here. And so it becomes a lot. Right.
So you have very little time for what most people do for relaxation, which is to, just read mind-numbing stories or books or magazines or follow a TV series to fruition.
Yeah, so to get off subject a little bit, like, there's 24 hours in the day, and you need like 5-6 hours of sleep. So you can put a lot into life. If you sit down and look at how much time you consume Facebook and Instagram, how much time you consume, and don't get me wrong, those things are important. It's not that they're not important. Technology, in my opinion, is super important to understand how Facebook works and to understand what a post is and what a blog is and why this person has 2,000 Instagram followers and this person has 12. To understand how YouTube works is super important. Technology is super important. But
it's easy to get bogged down in it.
It's very easy. It's very to get in the minutia of what Facebook is. It's easy to sit there and waste an hour and a half of your day.
Wait. Explain what you mean by the minutia, the little nitty-gritties.
Right? Yeah, you're just looking at, fucking Jack Blow over here doesn't like fucking gun rights, and so I'm going to post my opinion about gun rights. Like, neither one of your fucking opinions matter about gun rights. No one gives a shit at the end of the day.
Or you're like me and you're watching you're trying to talk to your cat, because yes, I do that. My little kitty co-hosts.
I wouldn't admit that on there.
I do. They know. Are you kidding me? I have live stream footage on UTV of my cat licking a lollipop while she's co-hosting a show.
As long as it's not on YouPorn TV.
But so I go and I look at these cats talking at their human videos, and then I fall down the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
that's why I just the rabbit hole.
3 hours later,
yes,
and I'm crying my eyes out and pulling out my debit card to go and donate money to some, animal refuge place, because these videos lead you. And oh my God.
And if you look at the balance of life and the balance of, and this is, maybe it's not getting off subject. Maybe this is what we're supposed to talk about.
This is the subject.
So if you keep telling yourself you're going to make $30,000 a year, and that's what your
80.
If that's what your victim, and that's a rough word to use on air, maybe, I don't give a shit. If that's what your story is, like, I make $40,000 a year and that's all I can do, and here's it, right? You're going to continue down that rabbit hole. It's just not with YouTube. It's just not with Instagram. It's just not with Facebook.
But if you think that if you set a limit for yourself?
Yeah,
most definitely. I agree
completely. And so the fucked up thing is most people don't want to put in the work to change their behavior. And so as we talk about this, like, I tell myself I can only make $40,000 a year, but I want to make, and I act like, and I speak like I want to make $80,000 a year, but I don't work on Sunday, or I don't work on Saturday. You don't put the effort in. I probably put more effort in, and this is kind of fucking rough, but I probably put more work or effort into life on a Saturday and Sunday than most people do in a week. And I could say that without my ego or without, it's just my experience tells me that, when I go to work, I'm very driven. And when I work at my real full-time job, I'm very driven to get things accomplished. I don't fuck around. I don't go on extra breaks, and I don't sit around and talk about what people do on the weekends, but I do.
Wait, it's not that he is an automaton. He does spend 5 minutes here talking, but he pulls it back, and he has a focused itinerary of work, like a to-do list that he needs to accomplish for the day, and he gets it done. Unlike most people who has a to-do list, and they get maybe 3 things done, and the rest of the day is wasted. And we can all kind of relate to that, where there are people in society who have the ability to actualize what they have projected to do, and then there are others who procrastinate or who get led down the rabbit hole.
And that's where I don't think leaders are born; they're made, right?
They are.
I don't believe that. I think worth ethic is something that you teach yourself, and if that's through your parents, through whoever. It's something that it's a learned trait or learned behavior. It's
an everyday learned behavior.
But in the human instinct as a human animal, we're pack animals at our core. And so this serotonin, the oxytocin, and all these different chemicals that are going, the endorphins that are going through in your head, just like addiction, the seek and reward stuff that happens. So like you say, to-do list. Like every time I mark something off my to-do list, I know it's going to hit me with some chemicals in my head that make me feel good.
Yeah.
I will literally do shit, write it down on my to-do list, and then scratch it off.
Yeah.
Just to see the scratch off.
Well, that's even like, all right, so like with my son who's on the spectrum, like going back to like grade school.
Explain what you mean by the spectrum.
He's on the autism spectrum.
Okay.
Under the umbrella, but to get him to do stuff, he would have a list of things to do, and you get the little reward or the sticker, for doing it, and it made him feel good about himself to continue doing on, keep going with what he was doing. So the more stuff he got done, the more stickers he would get. It's kind of like when you grow up, you become an adult. Like the more stuff you get done, perhaps the more money you get. It's like
or the more
esteem you get.
Yeah.
The esteem you get, your self-esteem.
Exactly.
From doing those things, instead of when you have like addiction, you get the reward of going seeking for like the drug. You get.
But then you get the reward of the serotonin levels and stuff.
Yes.
You can get the natural high from accomplishing something, and this is basically what we're looking at. This natural versus the
and that's where high. when you're fucked up, like your work ethics kind of can go down the fucking tubes, and it's not just I think from being fucking high, because I've been under the influence of drugs and alcohol and produced well at work only because I want to get a paycheck.
Jeff, you've been a manager for how long?
2003.
Okay, so you've been a manager for about 14, 15, 16 years, okay? So look at this. Let me ask you something. On a general day, you look at your employees, and maybe 10%, 20% might be casual users?
In the workplace?
Yeah. And when I say casual, I mean I'm talking about they might smoke weed on a weekend, or they might have a couple of, drinks but not get stone drunk.
Yeah, I mean, I don't...
So they're not, but they still don't perform. Some people still don't perform. It might be a ton of different things. It's not just addiction.
Most of them don't. That's what I'm saying. Most of them don't perform. Most humans don't work when they're at work. When they're at work, they fucking come in. They're 5 minutes late. They're 10 minutes late. They make do some work. They go on their 15-minute break. They come back. They fuck around with the other employees for a little bit. Then they go to lunch. And they come back and they fuck around some more.
For our Danish and European brethren out there, we are an international show. He's talking about, I would say, a very North American attitude that's only recent. It's not really that work ethic is not really international.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
But see, and then people want to blame the millennials, and it's not the millennials' fault. Yeah. That's from the generation. I'm turning 38 tomorrow. That's from the failed generation of the parenting from before us. Like, I'm sorry, it's just the truth. Like, they fucking sucked, at raising kids.
It's handed down.
Last week I said something. Oh God. So who was the guy who just died, 99 years old, just shy of his birthday? Evangelical TV evangelist, minister. Oh my God. Anyway.
Billy Graham.
Yeah.
Thank you. And his daughter said something. They were asking her opinion on 9/11, and one thing she said was, we tell God on a daily basis, get out of our lives, get out of our heads, get out of our schools, get out of our, whatever. We decide that our kids are old enough to raise themselves at a certain point, or we decide that our job is more important than spending our dinner time with our families, sitting down talking, asking them what their day was like. We make decisions, there are consequences. We tell God to leave in certain things, and then we ask, why did he let this happen? It's because we asked him to leave. And he's a gentleman, and he, respected our wishes. He gave us free choice and free will, right? But it comes down to, if you take God out of it, it comes down to, if we look at what we have deemed to be important in society. So importance in society is financial security, and that's become a huge thing. It's actually become the mantra where people are like, I cannot survive without this, and this. I need this. I need to make sure I have enough money for retirement. So they put in overtime to make sure their 401k is more bolstered and whatever. I need to make sure that my kids can have this or that or the other. And all your kids want and need is more time with you, and you actually teaching them right from wrong. You can't just assume that at age 10 or 12, a kid can come home and let themselves in, feed themselves, get their, but in this world that we live in, it's become more the norm.
Yeah, our kids don't know how to socialize either, or have face-to-face interactions.
But they do.
They do, but in a very negative way in some cases. Look at little kids. You ask a little kid, 3-4 years old, to share something, they're going to share it more easily than a kid who's 8, 9, or 10. You ask a kid who's 10 if you can borrow their Pokemon Game Boy, they look at you like you have 3 heads and you're stranger danger, right? You ask a little kid who has their little VTech playset and or their kitchen, like the plastic little thing, and you say, can you show me how to bake a cupcake? And they will hand it to you, and they'll want to play with you and interact with you. It's a learned behavior. We are, as he said, we are pack animals. We're born that way. We need that nurturing. But we become selfish. We become entitled. We become, okay, I can't trust what is going on outside of this. I become addicted to this. So that studies show that kids, the reason ADHD is rampant in the US and North America today is
because they hyper-focus.
The phones, exactly. And short, the tiny little videos that we have, 30-second to 2-minute videos, it is training their brain patterns. Their dendritic patterns are now not forming the regulatory bridges to create long-term, attention. And it's become an epidemic, so much so that they're trying to get it to become something under the Abuse Act, where if you allow your child a phone under the age of 8 and playing with it, it's abuse. It's considered abuse now.
You were going to say something?
Yeah.
It's kind of slipped my mind, but I was saying how, parents want to work and have all these things for their children. You're talking about, having that one-on-one time, that human interaction, because every child, even, adults, even, we all need that human touch, that nurturing, just a hug, basically a hug. Some days all I need is a fucking hug.
Yeah.
Like, excuse me, but I've been the worst one, but that's all I need is a fucking hug, and it'll make it better, right? But we don't necessarily sit down and eat dinner. We don't necessarily sit down with our kids and do those things, because we feel like we don't have time. We don't make the time. We tell ourselves we believe that we don't have time
to do that.
Cynical about it. Yes, and so, but to make up for it, a lot of us, will come home and be like, I didn't spend any time with my child, but I'm going to give you all these toys. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you that. So we're creating this generation who feels like they're entitled to these things.
Yes.
Minus the nurturing, minus, the human interaction.
Minus the nurturing, exactly.
It's setting it up for this, a narcissistic attitude.
And isn't that essentially what it comes down to? If you are not nurtured, you do not know how to nurture. And and little by little, it starts falling away to where, with your generation, and then the generation after you, and the generation after you, until it becomes easy to pick up a gun and go to school and shoot people.
But they're numb, and they're bombarded with images all day long. You have this, and you need this, bigger, better, and that, and then you become numb because they're showing all this stuff on TV. You watch the news, they'll put a couple good things on there.
The news, look at regular TV. My niece watches this show about vampires. It was like Vampire Diaries, some kind of offshoot to it, and she's 12 years old, right? And her parents let her watch this, which is fine, that's great, but I was thinking to myself at 12 years old, that would have been NC-17 when I was that age, right? The TV has changed. What they, like, you couldn't say the word ass on PG, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now, language has changed. Acceptable violence has changed. Like,
sexual behavior
has changed.
But it hasn't. And that's where I would disagree with you guys. It hasn't. And that's just my
It
opinion.
hasn't changed, but what they rate it for, what's acceptable for children to watch.
And you
that has changed.
We were talking about the Egyptians, right? You think back then they didn't see unacceptable behavior?
Okay.
The kids sat outside and watched people get executed.
But what we're talking about is modern society. When we say modern, we're talking about post-1950 to now. So let's say we take a subset of history and we look back at...
Who's to say the 1950s right?
I'm not saying it is. Everybody has what's right for them. You can be a Satanist and I can't tell you that that is wrong. I might not want to practice what you practice, but you have a right to your beliefs. But what I'm saying is that if we look at society and we say that children or the workforce has become entitled, they've become lazy, they've become uninspired.
They haven't.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you respectfully on that, because John and I were discussing that, right? And his dad, when John was little, so we're talking about 40-something years ago, John's dad would go to work. He was making $8 an hour at that time. Okay, 40-something years ago. You know that building that just tore down close to us there, going down? So, okay, he used to work there. Anyway, he was making $8 an hour, but at that time, his gas was lower. He could spend, his mortgage was like $112 for the month. His expenses were much lower. And now today people are making $10, $12 an hour, and they actually can't survive because gas is $2.15 or $2.50 a gallon, and their mortgage and their rent is most of their money, and they literally just keep trying to work. And at this point it's like, well, I'm working in order to live and I don't have enough to actually live and enjoy my life, so now my work becomes drudgery. So back then you enjoyed your work because you felt fulfilled, as in you were allowed, you were paid, you were compensated enough, and then you were home on a weekend, you were home by dinner time, and you could still make enough on one salary to have that family time. That has changed, right? And because that has changed, more people are going out to the workforce and less attention to children.
But you said the word entitlement. And so a lot of times, I have a lot of younger people who work for me, right?
Yeah.
And I deal with a lot of younger people in the community. And I feel as if I do decent with them. And the reason why is because I don't feel like they're entitled. And I don't feel like that. And the reason why is I've asked them. And I've talked to them about it in depth. And it's not... To me, it's not a form of entitlement. It goes back to that failed parenting idea of everyone gets a trophy. My kid's going to get on the honor roll because I fucking yelled at him, at the teacher, and shit like that. And if you
no longer have to work for something, it's just given to you.
Yeah, and there's plenty of business teachers out there that will teach you, or when you read their books and you listen to them on YouTube and stuff, they talk about this, and and it's those millennials, they want to feel like what they're doing, it matters.
Right.
And it's hard to teach someone that you coming to work day in, day out for a year, 2 years is what's going to matter. And they don't make it because their attention, like you said, is so short that they just don't make it. And so that constant plug of, no, what you're doing matters. I need you to do your job for the next 2 years. I didn't get where I'm at today because I didn't show up to work. I got where I'm at today because I show up an hour early every day. So the days that I was going to be late, I'm still 30 minutes early. And the days that there's a snowstorm and no one showed up, I still showed up. Like that's how I made it. I worked every Sunday for 7 years.
Right.
Every Sunday. And that's where it goes back to, what do you want to do in life? Do you want to have a family?
So you think it's more about determination?
Yeah, you need to determine deep down inside what you want in life.
In order to have determination, you have to have ambition. Now you're saying they have ambition. Their ambition is to
feel like they're affecting the company, or they're making a difference.
Okay, but here's where we're here. Okay, so I agree with you, right? So maybe we're misusing the word entitlement, because I feel like we're saying the same thing.
Yeah,
except that because you've explained exactly what I'm thinking. They want to make an impact, but they're not willing to put the work in because they think that they should immediately have results.
An impact on the company.
So the immediate results.
It's these Instagram fucks who go on Instagram and they say, look at me, I'm 21, I have all this money, and I have this, and I have that.
But when it doesn't happen...
Back to the brainwashing, though, the stuff that they see, like, everybody, like, the quick fix, like, everything's so technology. Like, okay, when we were younger, like, we had to go
to the library and do research.
We had to go home and wait for a phone call. If you're lucky, you'd call waiting. And then you had the answering machine. You don't know when you even got the call. You had to play it back like 5 times. And then hopefully those might be at home, because if they weren't at home, you weren't getting them because we didn't have cell phones.
Yeah.
You know?
And now it's a different form of communication. This is one thing.
But I'm just saying everything's so fast. So for them to sit there and like try to fathom 2 years,
Let me ask you something.
2 years is an eternity to them.
Right. And that's where.
Let me ask you something. When you were a kid, right, and you had to do a project for school, to research a project for school, you actually had to get up early or stay late, go to the library, put in the work.
You're assuming I didn't work for school.
Okay. When I had to do a project for school, right? So you, on a Saturday, you got up early, you went to the library, you went through the Dewey Decimal System, because the librarian will only help you so much, and she's taught you the system at school. You need to go find it yourself. You learn how to do that. You find what you need. You photocopy it.
I'll break it down in normal times, right? People come to my office all the time and they say, I want to do more for the company and I want to succeed. You can ask Larissa this. I say, what did I do? Okay? So, there's tutorials on YouTube that teach you Excel.
Yeah.
There's tutorials on YouTube that teach you Word.
Right.
Larissa sat there and saw me day in, day out, like teaching myself how to read code, crystal coding, or teaching myself how to read SQL coding. Like,
right.
I never went to school. I never stepped foot in college. So, like, to sit down and for me to learn Excel or learn these different computer programs, it was me on a Sunday night teaching myself how to do it so I can go back to the workplace and do it.
Because you took the initiative.
Right.
Now, here's the thing. People come into the office and ask you, what can I do? Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever straight out said, first, it's like math. If you don't know 1 + 1 is 2, you can never do long division, right? So you need to learn the basics, which is we give you a template, a structure, you learn the basics, and then from there, you got to start asking questions.
And they don't want to put in the work.
But that's the thing. Have you ever straight out told? Because I tell them that, and they get mad at me.
Yeah, no, and I've spoke to people about it plenty of times.
Yeah, because they're like...
That's where the lack of what you guys are both saying on the attention span, like, life is so much through a filter now. Like...
Yes.
And it's...
Jimmy calls them snowflakes.
Through a filter of Instagram, through a filter of Facebook, like, oh, my life's fucking perfect. But
my feelings hurt. American Dad. Do you watch American Dad?
Yeah.
You know that episode where Stan Bullock is like, okay, we need somebody to take, he comes in with his hovercraft that's spilling gold, and he's like, we're over budget, we need somebody to take a month off, and everybody puts their hand up, and he's like, without pay, and only Stan is still there, so he goes to work for the campus security, right? And he wants to be cool Uncle Stan, okay? So he wants to party with them and do the frisbee and stuff, and it's like, he goes into, they send him in to stop a party, and because it's too loud, and he breaks the guy's whatever, and the guy's like, I had this with me at my first date, I had this with me, whatever, and then it comes down, and Stan is like, no, I'm cool Uncle Stan. There's a whole group, they're protesting. He takes the frisbee, and he tosses it to a girl to, like, say he's cool Uncle Stan. It hits her here, and she's like, wah! And everybody's like, brutality. And this is what society, I mean, okay, shows like Family Guy, yes, they're funny, they're stupid, but they're not. They actually show, they take a magnifying glass to things in society and show you the extremes of it, and they make fun of it, but it's actually what's happening in our society today. Without wanting to put in the work or wanting to do anything, you will take, anybody will take something for free. You want to give me a free hat, and I need a hat, or even if I don't need a hat, I'll take a free hat, right? You want to give me a free hat, I'll take a free hat. But then 10 minutes later, what did you do for me you did that for me 10 minutes ago, I forgot about it. What did you do for me now? What do you do for me now?
Yeah, I mean, and I say it all the time at work. First, humans appreciate what you do, and then they expect you to do what you do, and then they demand you to do what you do.
But here's the thing. I think the appreciation value has gone down. I think that in our generation, we were a little bit I don't know about you, but if I didn't say please and thank you, I would get a look from my mom, and then I would get a lecture.
Oh, I'd get my ass whooped.
Yeah.
Right. Even that strong getting smacked.
You had to learn to say please and thank you.
Yeah.
That is not something that is done anymore as much.
But this is where we're at, and that's what I'm saying.
But why?
Too much alcohol is bad, right? People can responsibly drink. Some people, I can't, but some people can responsibly drink.
Rum cake.
And too much alcohol is bad, right? Too much gambling is bad.
Yes, too much of anything is bad.
Too much
water.
Instagram, Facebook is bad.
Yeah.
Right?
Too much water is polydipsia.
If you're waking up and the first thing you're doing is grabbing your phone and looking at it, like, you got a fucking issue.
Well, unless you're in love, because those pheromones actually do make you think of the person first thing when you wake up, and you want to see their face and you want to hear their voice, and you're kind of, it's a little creepy. People, stop doing it. Sorry.
I'm just saying, you said something. What made me think about that is you said something earlier. Like we have rules on all these things, gambling and cigarettes and liquor, but we don't have rules and regulations set up around Facebook and Instagram. And internet, internet usage, and I'm.
Do you know Bill Gates didn't allow his kids to have more than, I think he said 20 minutes by the time they were 12, they were allowed 20 minutes, 15, they were allowed an hour, and most of that was homework time. He didn't allow his kids to use, like, the technology that he created and spread out to the world.
Yeah, that's where, so there's a double-edged sword almost. It's like, do you do it out of fear, or do you do it out of, I allow them to get on the internet, I allow them to learn the internet so they're not behind? Because where we're going is virtual reality and all this shit.
Right.
Is where we're going. We're pretty soon, like, I wake up and
I'm not saying he didn't allow them to learn what was what, but he had them use books, and he had them talk to people, and then it was used as a tool. But unsupervised internet time where they're playing video games or watching a movie or doing something like that, it was not something that was allowable. You can have teaching, like my nephew, okay? I still remember, this is so strange. He's 8 years old, and he comes up to me, and we were discussing particle acceleration because boson Higgs and all that stuff. The Stern Institute was doing their particle acceleration and stuff. So we were discussing this, and he walks up to me, and he's like, but if you look at particle acceleration as time morphing, then you're totally going against the Einstein boson theory, because you're not actually bending space-time. And my mind was blown. And you know why he was able to speak like that? Because he wasn't just watching TV all the time. He was actually interacting with adults in his life. He would hear conversations. He's talking to people. It's more about, you have no idea. Well, you do. But I'm saying people have no idea how much you learn just by randomly just talking to people. You learn a bunch of stuff.
But I think where we're going in technology and as society is going to be more towards the technology side and not towards it's where we are. You could sit and fight with it, you can argue with it.
So what you're thinking, Isaac Asimov's iRobot?
Yeah,
future?
No, that's where we're going.
The Matrix?
Yes,
pretty much. Like, we don't have to leave home, we're just plugging in.
That's where
I'm going to go.
Oh my God, but no, we do that already. I have a friend, Celicia, who does not leave home at all. I'm kidding. I kid you not. It made me want to cry. I literally said she plugs in from home. She works from home. She cooks.
Why would someone else's actions make you want to cry?
Because she looked at me.
I would like to dig into that a little bit more.
Because she looked at me one day and she said, I want to kill myself. And I said, why? She's like, because it's been 3 weeks since I've been out of this house and actually had another human being look at me. And I just realized that I'm not worth anything.
Okay.
So it made me want to cry. And I'm like,
it's quite a bit different than just someone being agoraphobia and afraid to go outside.
Right. It's not that she was afraid to go outside. It's just she got so caught up in her daily life and taking care of her family.
And that's where
It's ultimately like an escape, too, from the
For some people, it's an escape. For her, she felt that she was being smothered. She literally said it was like being in a casket, buried alive, and this is her tomb. Her home was her tomb. Because that's all she does. She plugs in from home, and she has no other, outlet, because she had no car and stuff and whatever. And well, she's better now. And she has outlets and she has people and she has, but it was horrible.
Yeah, no, and it's probably got to be a nasty place to be. But like when you sit down and you think about like where we're going, so I have an Alexa in my room, right? So I'm getting ready in the morning. I go, Alexa, what's the weather like today? And Alexa goes, hey, Jeff, whatever it says. It's the weather in St. Louis is going to be this, and it tells me. Like, I think in the future, the near future, when we're brushing our teeth in our bathrooms, we're going to have voice analytics that comes over our bathrooms and says, good morning, Jeff, here's what you have to do today, and here's what you need to do, and here's how you need to do it, and don't forget to feed the dog. Like, I think that's where we're going as a
It's
society.
already there.
We don't even need to think. Like,
I'm sorry, it's already here. Not my fridge, but your fridge can tell you, Jeff, your milk will expire in 2 days. I'm putting it on your grocery list and I'm emailing Amazon. Is there anything else aside from your regular grocery list that you would require?
No, I think that's where, as a society, that's where we're going.
You know that there's fridges that do that, right?
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, that's really good. Like, it takes away from thinking. Like, we don't even have to like think about this stuff.
No, you don't. Like, you schedule movie night and you tell Alexa, I have movie night on Friday with Jim, Andy, Jeff, and Larissa. And
we don't have to make decisions.
Well, no, you guys just said it beautifully, right? We did the self-gratification of now, right? So we don't have to sit there and watch for our TV show to come on. And I used to love wrestling, right? WWE, whatever it's called. Every Monday night, I used to love Monday nights. And as a kid, I fucking loved Monday nights at 8 o'clock. Monday Night Raw would come on, or whatever it was called, and I would watch it, and I would look forward to that time.
It was Monday Night Raw.
Was it?
Yeah.
And you don't even have to wait for that anymore. Like, you just, if you want to watch a TV show, you go on Netflix and you fucking binge it.
Yes, exactly.
And binge watch. There you go, binge watch too.
Because too unhealthy.
Right, because we have to wait for the next episode, the next episode, the next episode. We couldn't just
me and Larissa would literally skip a whole season to binge watch on a weekend.
Right, we don't have to wait a week and a week and a week and a week. Like,
I do that.
We're gonna get it now. It's there. It's there for taking.
It's the here, and that's.
I do not watch Supernatural during the week, the while it's on, because it ticks me off that I have to wait a whole week. I get anxious. I get anxiety. So what do? I wait until the season's over and I watch all 20 episodes.
So you just said something. Another thing that's super interesting is anxiety, like ADD, like autism, all these things that we talk about. Like, where the fuck did these things come from?
Yeah. No,
where were these? You said 1950s. Where was all this stuff back in 1950s?
Okay, so
and I'm not saying it didn't exist.
Have you ever heard of buffet syndrome?
No.
Okay, so if I were to invite you to my home and I were to name 2 of your favorite foods.
Oh, jeez. Black licorice and jeez, I can't even think of it.
Black licorice.
I don't know. That's in my bag.
We have to get her some from Scandinavia. It is freaking amazing.
I can't even spell Scandinavia.
No, it's like freaking amazing.
Really?
But yeah. It's like it'll blow your mind on what licorice actually tastes like.
I'm just trying to think of the stuff that's in my car. Black licorice and dried banana chips.
Okay.
Plantain chips, yep.
Oh, I love plantain chips. Jay has had them on sale right now. Anyway, and what do you like? 2 things.
I don't know. I like chicken fried rice.
Chicken fried rice.
Yeah.
Okay, what else?
And some curry.
Okay, so I invite you to my home. We're having a movie night. And I've made here chicken fried rice. Because I'm doing Chinese, I'll do a stir fry and lo mein because you don't want rice, you want 2 carbs. You want your black licorice. So I think, okay, she loves black licorice. I'm gonna do a divine drink. It's a non-alcoholic drink with black licorice specifically for you. So it's geared towards the food, the flavors that you like. And she likes plantain chips. So we will do mofongo, which is the plantain crushed, double fried, and then it has the pork and all that stuff on it, right? Okay, good. So I have my menu all created and you're there. And I have now given you options. I have the noodles and stuff. But aside from that, I also put out shrimp wontons. And I put out, let's say, like cucumber cups or whatever, so things, mushroom caps and little tiny mini 1-bite burgers. And I have one is bison and one is elk and one is tuna tartare. And, you have different canapes to try. And now instead of having just 6 things and, you try a little bit of the 6 things and you're satisfied because you have 2 of them that you really like, you go and you eat those 2 things. You now have 18 things to try, and you're overwhelmed. And whereas you might like shrimp fried rice, you might want to try that bison burger, you might want to try this or whatever, and your chicken fried rice is no longer the goal. It's what we have now in modern society is buffet mentality. Everything is at our fingertips. The choices that we want, the things that we know we like, no longer matter as much because there are so many things to choose from. We start becoming anxious because it's like, why am I limiting myself? Maybe I should try something new. Maybe I should check this out. And we know what we like. You like shrimp fried rice. Have the freaking shrimp fried rice.
Chicken fried rice.
Sorry, chicken fried rice. Have the freaking chicken fried rice. You like the licorice. Have the licorice.
But
these are the things that you know bring you back to how you felt when you were a kid or whenever, and this is your favorite and you love it. Like for me, it's curry. Man, I'll sit down and I'll eat curry, but instead of getting you curry today, I'll give you gumbo.
it was good gumbo.
Okay, but you get what I'm saying. It's like you have the things that you like, but then it's like maybe I should try something different.
But that's what got us on this subject. I started talking about hours on a day, right?
Right.
So you have.
No, but you asked the question. Let's finish this little thing. You asked the question, why is it that we didn't have this anxiety in the 1950s? Well, in the 1950s, we literally made your pork chop dinner with your green beans, and you had your chicken fried rice, and you had your, whatever else there with it. You had your plantain chips on the side, and that was it. You were done. You had those two options because those are the two things you like. But now, because we now live in a global village and we have all these other options and things to try, maybe you want some bulgogi, right? Maybe you want some daikon shamushu. It's like, I don't know. But we have okay, I know I keep talking about food. I'm sorry, I can't help myself.
Yeah, you lost me.
But okay, maybe you like horror movies. Or you like gory movies, action movies. So you've watched every action movie that's come out in the US this year, and you watch everything. Now you can easily get the ones from Japan. You can easily get the ones from India or from Europe or wherever. It's at your fingertips. It's a buffet society. So now you can overindulge in what you like, or now you're like, oh my god, wait, there's so many other things. It's not just a scary movie. There's scary movie thrillers, psychological thrillers, there's blood and gore, there's demonism, there's so many different genres attached to that genre that I can explore. And you start going down the rabbit hole. And that's what's happening today. We have a buffet society, so much coming in, so much that we can take from, that we become overwhelmed and we rabbit hole.
Overstimulation.
Exactly. That's exactly it. So why am I anxious when I can't see my next week episode of Supernatural? When I was a kid, I would wait for Who's the Boss every week, right? I love that show. Mona was my favorite. And it's like, I'd wait every week and I'd look forward to it, right? But if I couldn't watch it that week, it was no big deal. Now, if I miss an episode of Supernatural, I literally am like, don't you dare tell me it's spoilers! My hands are over my ears. Don't talk to me kind of thing, because I know that I can go and I have this access in my fingertips. It's right there. Because I know I can have it, I become it's like, why shouldn't I have it? Whereas back then it was like, if I want it, I gotta wait 3 weeks for it to come out and go to the movie store and rent that episode from them, right? Okay, so who cares? My friend can tell me what it was about. It's easier than waiting 3 weeks and finding out what I missed, or 3 months and finding out what I missed and see it myself. You didn't have those options back then, so you didn't really run after it. We have so many options today.
No, I get it.
That's what I think it is. 1950s anxiety based on today's society. It's the buffet mentality. We have everything at our fingertips. Hell, you have Alexa planning your freaking day. I have to write out a to-do list.
I like Alexa.
I know, John.
I like voice analytics. That's what I do for a living.
John literally picked up the remote, and was like, Alexa, am I cute? And she says, I don't know, are you? I kid you not, it was the funniest thing in the world.
But it goes back to, like, we're talking to machines. Like,
Yes.
we're talking to machines to even make jokes. Like, I sit there and argue with Siri, and I make, like, jokes with her, but I'm like, and then I'm like driving in the car. I'm like, what if someone like sees me? I'm talking to my phone, laughing at my phone. It's not even another human being, but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna talk. It's
They're
just,
just gonna assume you're
absurd.
on your Bluetooth talking to somebody because you're in your car. But do you know, you said that, but do you know something? They have new androids that came out that are like, they look like real flesh people, and they can do everything. They can wash your windows, they can clean your car, fold your clothes, have sex in any way that you want, cook your dinner, and but the one thing they can't do is have an interactive conversation, because the one thing they haven't developed is the active AI mind yet. Right? Yet. But I kid you not, these robots have been coming out, these androids have been coming out, and you can get whatever hair color you want. It's only women. They don't have the male versions yet, but whatever hair color you want, body size.
Then again, there's the access at your fingertips. I don't want to deal with the humans and human interaction, but I will get what this woman desire in a woman.
That's exactly what it is. That is exactly what has happened.
There's a show called Black Mirror. There's a show called Black Mirror. I think it's on Netflix, and it actually has an episode where I think it was her husband or fiance passed away, and she was so devastated by it, and they had like this website you can go to, and her friend got her to do it, and it's like you send a text message from like their phone or something, and it downloads all their information, the text messages that you had, and it builds like this whole persona of them, so they're texting you back, and it actually
so it learns their mental algorithm, how they would speak, their idioms.
Exactly. It was really freaky, but then she got so obsessed with it that
somebody so much.
She ordered they took all his pictures and everything and made a
android.
Yep, and she put him in the bathtub, and like he became like flesh and everything, and it was so freaking creepy because it's not that far off from where we are at today.
It's there right now. If your spouse passes away, you can order one of these androids in their image. And you can literally massively program in. You can even take their voice codes, like from recordings that you had on your phone and stuff, and they can program this android to look like your wife, sound like her. They can program it to create the meals that she created, everything to act like your dead spouse.
And it's sick, like, so we, like, even...
Except this dead spouse will try anything in bed that you didn't want to do.
Right, but that's the whole other thing, too. Like, it can be better, you know what I mean? Like, it would just be better. But
that's the thing, it's where it's moving to. It's crazy, but it's true. That's how society has evolved.
It's bigger, better, faster, more.
Yeah, it is. It's bigger, it's better, it's faster. Hey, Jimmy, let me ask you something. Listeners, I want you to ask yourself this question too. If you have the option of interacting with an average human being on a daily basis, someone who you have to take into consideration their feelings, their wants, their needs, their fears, their anxieties, the fact that they're having a lousy day or a great day, and you have to put aside your own emotions, or you can deal with an android that will cook you what you want, massage your feet in the way that you like, prepare you your bath, stroke your hair, and let you watch whatever you want on TV while it's sitting there stroking you, telling you that you're the best in the world.
You wouldn't have to get married.
Well, and Jimmy, how many times have you been married?
2.
So far, right?
Well, no, there is no more. That's for sure.
But I'm saying, Jimmy, if you could get one of these androids, would you take it?
Yeah, definitely.
And you've seen them. I sent you the videos on them, haven't I? I posted them.
No, I haven't seen them, but I hope they get the artificial intelligence. It would be nice to hold a conversation with one of them.
Well, here's the thing. To get around the artificial intelligence, what they're doing now is they have call centers of women whose voice goes through this, or men. Well, right now it's just for women. So it's like a call center, and you're calling in like you call in a 900 number, except it's for any conversation you want. Like you want to talk about gardening or whatever, but you want to talk to your dead spouse, right? So you have this android created that looks like your dead spouse, that has the hair, the touch, the skin tone, whatever, everything. Even the same oily, whatever, everything. You can get this, and then they have a booklet on the psychological profile of the dead spouse. They match it to people who come in to work there. And if your spouse is like Anna, who works at the center, they had similar likes and tastes. Anna learns a bio on your spouse, details about your spouse. And when Anna speaks, the voice modulation box in the Android, it's like you're calling them Anna, and you're talking to Anna at the center, and the voice modulation box in the Android is now coming out, sounding like your wife. So in your head, there is no Anna. Anna does not exist, right? Because they have not created the AI. They have to have a human dynamic interplay, you know? So this is something that, so Jimmy, you could have the conversation with them. I mean, if you have $8 million to spare, you can have the perfect spouse.
Right. Like I said, it hasn't come yet, but it will.
No, it's here. I'm telling you.
The price will come down.
The price is coming down. It started off 3 years ago when they first started this at about $8 million, and it's about 2.5. And they've made it even better now. And they have.
When it's $250, let me know.
They have a few versions, but they have a few versions of where it's like the doll. It can't cook and clean and wash and everything for you. It can do simple things for like $250,000.
Things the money can buy. Money can buy you love now too, right?
Apparently.
Exactly.
They talk about like playing God or not playing God, but it's like having that control. Like we have that much control of our own universe. Like this is our universe and this is our world. Like
instead of having real kids, you could have Android kids.
Actually, you're not far off. One of the sheiks in Bahrain, is developing a android child to interact with his children, to show his children what proper behavior should be.
This is like, it's a control thing. Like humans are supposed to have free will, though.
It's a teaching
as a
thing.
parent, you want to teach your child how to eat, how to drink, how to talk to people, and whatever. So what they do is they program the perfect child. And so while this child is playing with their children, it's influencing their child on how to behave. It's the new child nanny. It looks like a child. It speaks and talks, but it has the ability to react.
As an adult education.
Pardon me?
The kid probably got an adult education. The AI.
Yes, it does. The AI kid, the android, has an adult education, but it has the ability to interact with your child and teach your child. Your child wants to play Scrabble. It has a friend, and hey, oh my God! It started off with the dollies who could drink milk and wet their diapers, and now this is where it's at.
But I mean, does it take away from the human experience, though?
It does. Social interaction.
The human experience, like we learn lessons through fucking up because we're humans.
Right.
We got something that's perfect all the time, teaching us to be perfect. Like, oh, where's the room for error?
No, but you still have room for error. I actually prefer this method to a certain extent over a nannying method.
Well, yeah, because then again, people are freaking crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah, what's the matter with perfect?
And the thing is, we are programming our children. You raise your child a certain way. That is you programming your child a certain way.
We're indoctrinating them.
Exactly. You might be Catholic. I might be Hindu. Somebody else might be Muslim. You raise your child that way. That's what they believe. You might think the color purple is the ugliest thing in the world. So you raise your child to hate that color. It's disgusting. It's whatever. You get what I'm saying? We program our children anyway. So he's creating an android to interact with his children because he said that because psychologists say that an adult teaching a child is less effective than a child teaching a child because children want to be like the other child. So if you have an android that looks and acts like perfectly human and it's teaching your child proper manners, good comportment, good gun control, I mean,
I guess in like a perfect world, if we all had the access to that, it would be a perfect world. But I mean, if we got one in like 100,000 people, the other kid's getting bullied by Bobby on the playground, he goes to school and pushes.
I don't think it'd be a perfect world because think about this: you have that. Did you ever see Bicentennial Man with Robin Williams?
Don't remember.
Okay, so you have.
Yes, I did.
You have this world where everybody has these robots that can interact like that, and this is what we're going to, right? But you have this world where everybody has these robots or these androids that can do this. You have to remember the Ku Klux Klan guy, or the anti-Semitic guy, or the anti-white guy, or the anti-black guy, or the whatever, not even racist, the guy who hates purple, the guy who hates cheese and wants cheese destroyed. Like, they all have they're programming their own robot to teach their kids their way. So it really isn't any different from them teaching their kids, except now their kids have somebody who's there to monitor them and teach them empathy.
What kind of sinister person doesn't like cheese?
I know, right?
No, like, so I got a
That
weird...
just weirds me. Robots teaching empathy. Like, robots teaching us to love. Like, you know.
But that's all projection. That's not where we're at, right?
Well, actually, let me ask you something. Your phone, if I were to take your phone from you today, would it upset you? If you didn't have access to your phone for like a week, how would you feel?
I'd probably, because I need MapQuest, but to get where I need to go.
Or your computer
She'd
or
freak
something
out.
like that. This is what I'm saying. You already love a robot, your phone. MapQuest, it tells you where to go. This is your own little robot. It controls you.
I know.
Little by little, they're getting you.
I was just saying how I don't use my phone to call people anymore. I use it as a freaking mini computer.
Exactly.
Like, it's not a phone that, hello, it's like, who uses the actual phone for real?
And then think about it. If you actually have your phone taken away, your withdrawal symptoms would be the same as, it mightn't be as severe as an addiction, like an opiate addiction or alcohol addiction, but it is.
Oh, I've seen it with my son. He starts fidgeting. He walks back and forth. He paces. His pupils get big. He's having like full on like anxiety attack.
And then what do you feel inside? You feel bereft. You feel alone. You feel scared. You feel anxiety. It's like your best friend just walked away, or that, you know, the person you love. It's like it's literally it's love. It is the same brain patterns.
The drug.
It is the exact same brain patterns we form when we form a relationship that is significant to us.
It's
that we
almost
form
like
to these items now.
It is almost like an addiction, like an addiction pathway.
But no, yes, addiction pathway. But addiction pathways aren't love pathways, right? We have to have neural association pathways that build like dual bridges, back and forth dendrite patterns go back and forth. An addiction pathway has a one subset pathway going straight towards your pleasure centers, right? So what you're looking at is, like, there are times when you can hate your phone, right? There are times when you're literally like, oh my God, I freaking hate you, but I can't put you down. I have a party at my house. I put the phones in the basket, and the first person to pick up their phone gives $100 to the whatever we have on the list as the charity of the month thing. You touch your phone during the meal at my house, you pay.
So,
you know.
So not recently, 2 years ago, I went a week or 2 weeks without my phone. I left my phone in a rental car.
How'd you feel, Jeff?
Like, at first, it was like, I mean, oh, fuck, you know, like, it was just exactly what you guys said. I went through, like, a little detox period, and then after,
So was it like a breakup as well?
It was a relief. It was like I could breathe again.
So it was like a breakup with, like, a 16-year-old crush, right?
I don't know if that...
Well, think about it.
But, man, that's a 16-year-old crush, man. That's bringing back some memories. But, no, for real, like, at first, I was like, a lot of anxiety. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And then after a couple days of like, I'm by a phone, near a phone, by a internet.
I have phone. I have internet.
Yeah, you don't have a cell phone, do you?
No, I don't. You guys keep trying to force me to get one.
Yeah, I mean, it's just called, 21st century. I mean, like, welcome. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I had phones.
It fries your brain. Cell phones fry your brain. I'm sorry, cell phones fry your brain.
Listen, when I was in Trinidad, so I had a real estate company. I had a clients list because I was doing construction affiliation. So I would hook up BHP Billington or BP with, like, contractors who could work for them and stuff, right? I had an events management company. I had 3 phones for those 3 companies and a 4th phone for my family. And I had these... No, I wasn't. But I needed to be in touch with people, right? I had 4 phones, Jeff. 4 freaking phones.
Well, now you get one phone that 4 numbers ring to.
No, but it controlled my life. I was 23 years old, working for JMAC, opening up my own business with a separate phone that I didn't sleep. I was back and forth doing everything. I became obsessed because I am a little obsessive when it comes to work. I like to achieve, right? So, okay. So it looks like we are running out of time for this week's episode, but we're going to pick up this whole phone addiction. I think this is a great topic. I think we want to explore this a little bit more, maybe. We're going to pick this up on our next episode, or maybe talk about it something else, because I think we have a nice flow going. I want to thank Larissa and Jeff for joining me, and until next week's episode, be well, be safe, and blessed be.